What is happening, people? Welcome back to another video. Before we get into uh, the topics that I want to talk about today, because there's quite a lot, and there's quite a lot of dense topics too. Please, if you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm, and I really want a big 2026 for the hook. So yeah, that will help in doing so. But without further ado, let's get on to what I want to talk about, and that is the first news story, which is Naoya Inoue will take on Hunter Nakatani at the Tokyo Dome on May the 2nd. Now, I was in Saudi for Inoue's fight against David Picasso. It was sort of tipped as, I mean, it was called Night of the Samurai, a lot of Japanese fighters on that card, and Inoue looks incredible. He sort of broke down Alan Picasso. You can sort of see Picasso's fight sort of just deplete as Inoue was sort of going through the gears a little bit. And in the build up to that fight in particular, I mean, there was a lot of noise about Inoue fighting Nakatani, considering that they were both fighting on the same card. Nakatani didn't look as good as Inoue. I think he struggled a little bit, and that fight went the distance. And so, as ever in boxing, there's a lot of people that sort of that going towards Inoue based on that. But Nakatani is a skillful fighter. Both undefeated, both at the top of their game right now. Nakatani might have had that blip, but he's still a very good fighter. So yeah, and it's good the fight is being held at the Tokyo Dome. I mean, the last fight was held in Saudi, and although it was good for me because I was able to go. I think Japan is sort of there's is steeped in boxing history, and I think that's a great fight to be held in Tokyo. I think the atmosphere would be insane. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna double check how much the capacity of the Tokyo Dome is. I think 55,000. I mean that'll sell out instantly. I think the promotion, the hype for that amongst people in Japan would be great. And yeah, May the 2nd, February, March, April, May. So 3 months. I mean, Inoue's schedule is crazy, right? Because I think he fought 4 times last year. 4 times. And four very difficult opponents. And you know, 5 months he's fighting again 5 months after he fought David Picasso, which just goes to show, I guess, his workmanlike nature, but also his ability to just go through opponents and to keep going. But yeah, that's a fight that I'm really looking forward to. GBM's broadcast deal with the Zone is no longer. Um, I think that was a little bit that came as a shock to GBM, considering that um they had a very good run with the Zone. GBM is, for those of you who don't know, run by Izzy Asif, a very it's a UK based promotion, and they had a really good concept, sort of similar to that of the World Boxing Super Series put on by the Salon brothers, where Alexander Usyk was a cruiserweight that won that and then gone on to have the career that he has done. But they put on the heist in Hull, which was 8 fighters. They fought 3 times. The winner would fight 3 times and ultimately win on the same night, and it was a really good concept actually, and it got a lot of people talking, and it got a lot of buzz back, and I think that's a big theme in sport at the moment, not just in boxing but in football as well. You've got baller league, whereby you're sort of you know wanting to boxing is sort of becoming as a way of appealing to the younger generation as a sport as well. Attention spans are depleting, etc. So I think the heist was a great way for that to um, engage the younger audiences, and it feels like it did. It feels like it did because they then signed that deal with I think it's Ridge, which is like a sports science company, and because they signed that deal, the heist is going global in 2026, and then they've got I think the first heist is in Dubai, etc. So a lot of um a lot of good opportunity, and I think off the back of that, maybe Izzy Asif thought GBM done enough to secure an extension to that broadcast deal. But he does say he's in talks with others. Sky Sports is up for grabs, but as I'm gonna come on to earlier, Sky Sports is it seems to appears to be, not wanting to side with one promoter. They're wanting to buy the rights to select fights. So that might be off the question. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they go next. Um, Andy Ruiz will sign to Zuffa Boxing. I mean, Zuffa Boxing sort of offering seems to have um chopped and changed a little bit, because first we were hearing that, you had the Carlos Ocampo against Callum Walsh. It was sort of billed as it sort of billed as big fights. Sorry, billed as like the undercurrent of fighters coming through, and then those fighters then go on to big Riyadh season shows. But it's not appearing that way, and who knows? Maybe Conor Ben, instead of, because I can't see Conor Ben in, coming out just in Zuffa shorts. I can't see him, in just wearing Zuffa gear. Like I just don't see it. So maybe, Conor Ben fights on a big Riyadh season show, and um that's what it is instead of Zuffa. I don't know. Um, but same with Andy Ruiz. I mean, um, yeah, their offering seems to have changed, and maybe TKO, Nick Khan, these guys are very skillful operators. Maybe they've sort of looked at the offering that they were sort of manifesting and putting out, and maybe they've gone back on their word a little bit. Well, it shows that they've gone back on their word. So, yeah, interesting times. But I guess it's a good signing for Zuffa, because Andy Ruiz, how old is Andy Ruiz? Obviously, he had the big win against Anthony Joshua, um, and then lost the rematch, and then since then he's won two on. Yeah, he's won two. I think drawn one as well. He's 36 years old. Be interesting to see whether that's a longer term promotional deal, because I don't think he's been as active. And again, that's another theme that seems to become apparent, is that these fighters are um that they're able to fight for longer because of S&C, because of the fact that they're not fighting multiple times in a year, means that they can drag their career out. So I won't be surprised if he fights until he's 38, 39. Look at Wilder Chisora is a great example. Um, so yeah, he might be out on the Conor Ben undercard. Um, Talking of Conor Ben, Boxing King Media have sort of reported as an exclusive that Zuffa Boxing are looking to finalize a big multi-fight agreement with Sky Sports. Again, Sky Sports, um, as mentioned, um, it seems like they're wanting to just buy exclusive rights to individual fights, and this would be a great fight for them to purchase, considering Conor Ben sort of, not sure how popular he is with the UK fans at the moment, but um, the good thing with heels and bad characters is that people will come out to support, because they want to see him get chinned. So his supporters will want to see him win, and people who hate him will want to see him get chinned, which is great for pay-per-view numbers because it sells. If that fight is on Sky Sports box office, I think a lot of people would buy it. Um, Obviously, he'd have Sky Sports in the UK, and then he'd have Paramount Plus in America. So sort of two big captive audiences, and um, yeah, I think I think they've paid upwards of $10 million. I think the fight was the fight is looking to be a one fight deal for upwards of 10 million, or at least a minimum of 10 million. And so yeah, I mean, for Zuffa to sort of capitalize on their investment, they're gonna need to sell that to broadcasters around the world. And that's another thing with the zone, actually, is that I was speaking to Frank Smith, and it's quite interesting because when Matchroom were with Sky Sport, you'd have to negotiate a separate broadcasting right with other countries, which I assume would earn you more money. But with the zone, obviously it's a global home of boxing, people can tune in, but it means that maybe you sort of lose a little bit of revenue in that sense. And I guess with it depends how well they can sell their broadcasting rights um to other um to other countries. Sean O'Malley, the UFC star, has come out and questioned Conor Benn's eight-figure deal with Zuffa Boxing. I read actually that only 10 to 20% of the revenue that is generated from MMA events is actually given to fighter purses, which means um, they keep the remaining 80%. And for boxing, it's something crazy like 75 to 80%, which just goes to show the discrepancy in pay. But if you're a UFC star at the moment and you're seeing the likes of Conor Ben um, earning upwards of 10 million, and you've grinded and grafted your way through the UFC, and you're not getting nowhere near the amount that you deserve, considering I think Paddy Pimblett got like $1 million in his last fight, which seems like a lot of money, which is, but I think the event generated about 50 million. So if you're a UFC star, you're looking at that and you're questioning everything. You're questioning your loyalty to Dana White. But I guess the beauty of Dana White's position is that you can question his loyalty, but at the end of the day, who else are you going to go to? And that's the sad reality of what fighters are facing. But I guess it's something that they're going to have to revisit in the future, because what's to stop another person coming along and challenging Dana White? I guess it's happened, and I guess it's harder for someone to come along and challenge Dana White now. Now, considering the introduction and the involvement of the Saudis, I don't think the Saudis are involved in the UFC as of yet, but who knows with Dana White sort of offering. There's a lot of there could be scope for them um, having an involvement in the UFC. And Floyd Mayweather, I'm hearing Floyd Mayweather, it will fight Manny Pacquiao um in September the 19th. And I think, yeah, it's live on Netflix in Las Vegas at the Sphere Las Vegas, Saturday, September 19th. Wow. I just don't like it. I really don't. Pacquiao's come out. He drew against Mario Barrios actually, which obviously Ryan Garcia won against Mario Barrios at the weekend. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess Pacquiao still got it. Mayweather still got it, but the first fight came, I think, 5 6 years too late, and now this is just a kick in the teeth. Um, Obviously Floyd Mayweather is having a few personal financial issues at the moment. Apparently he's not doing very well financially. So you can sort of see and I think something came out with Manny Pacquiao as well about that. But it's sad to see sort of boxers past their prime having to. Well, I guess Mayweather I don't have any sympathy for, but it's just sad to see that they're coming back and fighting again, because yeah. Anyway, I don't like to see it. I think it's not good for the sport. But again, interestingly, Netflix have it again. Wow, there's a lot of. I'll tell you what, and I'll end on this because I've gone for quite a while. There's a lot of broadcasters now, um, sort of coming into the sport and really, giving like people like the Zone, who thought they had a monopoly, not a monopoly, but who thought they cornered the market. But they're really sort of coming in and sort of disrupting and offering competition, which I guess is good for all promoters, and I guess it's good for all stakeholders in the sport. But it is a trend that I don't see going away. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.